maybe you haven't heard of Matera. It's one of Italy's oldest towns. In fact, it's one of the world's oldest towns. Dates back really long time. And it's also a filming location for No Time to Die, the opening scenes. So of course, the James Bond fans that I have with me are going to be keen to see every single location from that film, right?
Aye.
Beautiful square here in Matera. It's lovely. This is the very square where James Bond spins his car round and round in a classic Bond shootout. Right here in the square. There you go, look, you can see the locations. That's mad. Right here. Of course, it's pretty cool to be in a location where a big movie like that was made. But that aside, this is actually a really beautiful town. The slabs, the cobbles, everything's so tidy and just so classic. I absolutely love it. There's lovely balconies. It's really pretty. These really windy little streets, aren't they cute? And that beautiful sun-lit mountainside of villas. I mean, look at it. Well, we know for certain that this is one of the little streets that James Bond races his car up along in a car chase at the beginning of the movie. I tell you what, looking at this road, you wouldn't really want to razz it. Of course, this is James Bond we're talking about, so he's not bothered about that. But yeah, he did race all the way up this road.
This is another scene in No Time to Die, where Bond is being big chase going on, and he runs up here. There's this geezer on a motorbike, and he knocks him off the bike, and then they get into a bit of a scrap. And he's sort of doing all of this, and then he grabs this Cyclops geezer, and then he like smashes his head off this wall here, and then his little bionic eye pops out.
Oh God!
Bond sort of looks at it like, what's that? And then he cracks on, and he nicks his bike actually. And he nicks his bike, and then carries on driving that way. Yeah.
Green door gets whacked against. Oh, it's a nice place for cats to chill. The town of Matera is literally carved into the mountainside. It's really impressive to see. Gosh, this is so high. Look at all that. It's really high, isn't it, boys?
It's very high. Comes down here, and he flips the bike like that, he sort of gets off it, and he sort of like does this suave like.
Another cat. Hello, puss.
What time in the world?
So in the film, they set up this huge rig, and it was like this fake tunnel. So they would have the Aston Martin DB5 right there, and then they would shoot the scene. The DB5 would drive out, and they made it look like it was driving out of a tunnel and arriving at Matera. But it was all fake. So this spot is actually this big slope here. Bond comes up from there. He goes up this big slope and he lands his motorbike here through a crowd of people, and then he bombs it up some stairs over there. So that's next to this.
Kind of crash lands into this square. There's the yellow wall with the green shutters. And that's where he ends up. We've now made it to the Aqueduct. It's a shame it's all covered in scaffolding, but this is it. This is the bridge from that opening scene in No Time to Die.
Starts off up there after he visits Vesper's grave.
Yeah.
And then he comes down here and he's running across the bridge, and then he stops because he sees some bad guys up ahead. And then like a bullet like sort of grazes his shoulder, and he turns, he sees bad guys coming from there, and then they try to like run him over, and he has to like run, and he lies down like next to this kind of thing. And then he's getting shot at and he doesn't know what to do, and then to escape he like runs, and then he like grabs a cable and jumps off the edge. It's very bad.
And swings down to safety.
Bond did.
Yes, exactly. It's pretty cool, isn't it? To actually be here. Yeah, it is a bit of a shame that we've come here and it's just covered in scaffolding because you can't see the beautiful arches of the aqueduct beneath. But that's just how it goes, eh? You know, they do work on stuff like this. But this is still the bridge. This is definitely the location. It's still really cool to see it. It's definitely hard not to appreciate this incredible view. I mean, look at the scenery, it's so dramatic. It's chilly up here though. It's about 10 o'clock in the morning. Cool though. Hey, no time to die locations. Job done. If you're wondering where Vesper's crypt is that James goes to see at the start of the film, just before the doors blast open and fling him backwards into an oblivion of not being able to hear a thing for a second, that whole site was constructed. It's not a real place. And, not going to lie, we don't quite know where it is. So we're not able to bring that as a location. But it's not real anyway. But all of this, that bridge, is definitely very real. Matera really is beautiful at night time. It's our last night in Matera and indeed in Italy.
Yes.
We're going home tomorrow.
I'm very happy that we're doing our last night here in Matera.
Absolutely.
It's one of the most beautiful places I have ever seen.
It's really stunning. Like, everything is made of limestone. It's just one colour all over the city. 8,000 years. It looks so authentic. Every single street, every alley that you walk down. It's really, really beautiful. Well, we're on our way to what we think is probably our final James Bond No Time to Die location here in Matera. We found it earlier, but the scene in the movie is shot at night, so we thought we'd replicate it by filming it in the evening as well. Such a beautiful view and such a beautiful location.
This is where they filmed the scene where Bond and Madeline, when they arrive in Matera.
You can't help looking over your shoulder.
What?
No one's coming.
I wasn't looking over my shoulder.
Yes, you were.
No. Are we going to have a row about this?
And they're heading up to their room, and then Bond sort of asks the guys, like, what are they burning? And then, secrets, you know, from the past, old and new.
What are they burning?
Secrets, wishes, letting...
It's right here.
Right here.
Pretty cool.
Puss, puss. Meow. Hello, puss. Oh, he's enjoying the view.